Alright, we're here. We're talking. It is The Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 2. It is the aftermath to Negan smashing in the skull and brains, everything. Eye popping violence, all you ever wanted of Abraham and Glenn. And to be the Episode 2, it was fairly enough to say I wouldn't say filler, but it's more of, hey, while everybody else is recuperating from PTSD from what happened previously, we're going to take things to another side of the world where Carol and Morgan are getting back into the loop. They're at the kingdom. They're shown Ezekiel, and as you can see by this picture, we have Shiva the tiger. Holy crap, this man. Could you imagine having a tiger survive the zombie apocalypse?
Oh my god, the tiger
Like,
is gigantic. Look at that thing. It was just gigantic.
not to mention, we have this gray haired Rasta leader named King Ezekiel, who he's the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the fact that he still has to play a pawn to Negan just shows the strength of Negan and Negan's strength in numbers. Because Ezekiel's men gets beat up by Negan's guys and they can't do anything because then Negan's gonna come in there and kill them.
Ezekiel has a tiger, so I mean, the tiger always wins.
But not against bullets. I mean, we saw that with rest in peace, my boy Harambe. Exactly.
Yeah,
So
Harambe. Sadness.
utter sadness. But the core thing behind this episode to really save an hour for some people, or just recap for some people, is that throughout the entire hour of the show, it was just a very getting to meet new characters. One of them in particular, who I believe was Benjamin off the top of my mind, was this young buck, to say it nicely, who's getting taught to defend himself so he doesn't freaking die. And it's kind of surprising because Ezekiel's like, he's going to be, the future, and Morgan's got to train him. And they're putting this faith into Morgan as an outsider because they saw Morgan kill a leader of, or not a leader, but a member of the Saviors, which is a member of Negan's group. And to see Morgan go back to his roots during this episode means a lot because he went from the roots of I'm gonna kill everything to all life is precious. I botched that. To I'm gonna shoot this guy right in the head because he's shooting my friend. To we don't kill people.
What we like to call bipolar.
Just a tad bit, but you gotta add in that element of this guy's been through a lot. He lost his wife, and then he lost his son.
He might be dealing with PTSD more than all the fans are.
Yeah, he lost his wife, then he lost his son, then he went to just shoot up everything, then he was held captive, then that went downhill, then he ran back into Rick and everybody. That went downhill because they separated and whatnot, and he ran into the common problem of they wanted him to kill, and Morgan's like, I'm not going to kill anybody, and he kept this guy from the wolves hostage. And when push comes to shove, you gotta kill to survive, to keep people you love alive. And I think he realized that when he shot this guy, the Saviors, and it led to King Ezekiel and the people of the kingdom to see, hey, this guy, we might not be able to fight back, but this guy can. And all throughout the episode, there's this underlining tone, of course, where Carol's being very fake, and she's like, these people were living in a fantasy world, because Carol's gone through the stage of they were living happily ever after, and then stuff hit the fan, and governor comes in, shoots up everybody you love, stuff of that nature. So the episode was pretty decent in my opinion. It's a great introductory episode to meet people. There's this great plot during the story where they're letting loose the pigs to feed on zombies because they're selling the zombie infected pigs to members of Negan's group, the Saviors, because they're gonna kill them in the long run, right? So I think that was very smart. Because at first it didn't make sense, and Morgan was like, it doesn't make sense. And then when you find out that they're selling these pigs to these douchebags, in the end it makes things better. So we got some interesting new characters this episode. mainly King Ezekiel, Shiva, Jerry. This guy Jerry is great. He's like the, intern to King Ezekiel, or the right hand man, I guess. Benjamin, a long term guy, I think. And it's just gonna be interesting when they interact with Rick's group, of course. And the end of the episode kind of sees Carol where she leaves this group of the kingdom, and she's gonna go and just live off on her own for a while. But of course, King Ezekiel and everybody's gonna check up on her, and it's gonna lead to Rick and everybody meeting up eventually. I think next episode will be a very Daryl-esque episode. I think it'll be a couple of episodes till we get back into the aftermath with Rick and everybody, because we just had a very intense season 1 premiere. And by the way,
This was a good calm down episode.
and the violence is still there, because they had this great zombie fighting scene where they ripped off a zombie's face and it was just hanging and dangling there. So the violence in this season still really up there. It's great. And we need a couple calm down episodes before we can get back into just an all-out
It's
war,
like
which was what
we
we're
do a
probably
lot
going
of
towards.
talking about pro wrestling on this channel.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of you can't just continue to have top-notch, high-impact, high-energy matches. You need to have a couple of those that continue the story, but
They won't be as
needs
intense.
to be chill. It
Yeah.
needs to be chill for a bit.
Because then everybody
Get
will catch
everyone
on
to
fire.
compose themselves.
And there's a way to be on fire and still have the areas where you can cool down and catch back up on fire. Because if we continuously had one thing after the other be intense throughout this entire season, come the season finale, everybody's gonna just drop dead because of everything got too hot too fast. And don't want that to happen. But it's a great episode to see where Carol and Morgan were heading to the kingdom, what everybody else is doing in the meantime, after, because they still don't know about the death of Glenn and Abraham. So that's the interesting part of seeing Carol's reaction, because she's a season 1 character. So is Morgan. So see their reactions to these guys die, like that's going to be something interesting later on to just take note of. But the episode, I'm gonna give it a solid 8, maybe 7.5. Things I would do better. So, but great episode, and we'll see you all this time next week.